Behind the Cape. Got a few things to discuss. Let's start off with something interesting that you tweeted about, or that you retweeted. Isaiah Bradley's role in Captain America 4, Brave New World. Supposedly, he is going to be playing the role of a terrorist shooting politicians at some point in this movie. Which, first of all, I thought he learned. I thought he kind of grew in Captain America.
Put a statue.
And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
All over what happened at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
like they tried at least to reconcile what wasn't given to him in terms of recognition.
Sam had the speech, and it made him reflect. I thought he kind of learned a little bit.
Now, I get it. It seems like bullshit putting a statue in a museum for me, 40, 50 some odd years later. Yep. Yeah, well, thanks. How about the paychecks that should have been earned? And what about all of the glitz and glamour, the Avengers, everything that Steve Rogers got?
Yeah, but mental leaps to then...
You don't have to do what you did at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier if this is where we were going to end up.
Yeah.
Literally could have disappeared. Elijah Bradley could have been left behind alone. I don't know where my grandpa went, but he's been missing. Will you take me in? Will you train me, Sam? Perfect little underling right there, right? Like,
simple.
We're not even trying to set this shit up anymore. It's like going as we go.
Disgruntled black man takes his anger out on America. It's
disgruntled black veteran.
Ooh, yep.
Disgruntled black veteran attempts an assassination. Like, what are we doing, yo?
Crazy.
What are we doing?
Crazy.
Like, this is how they spaz out every time they get in control of a black property. I swear to God.
Like, who is asking for this stuff to happen?
Black Panther 2018 was a mistake. Them niggas did that shit by mistake. They took their hands off of it. They let all black people do it. And then they realized what they had and said, ooh, I want to try, and fucked it all up.
I don't even know anybody who's excited about Sam Wilson being Captain America. Then you're adding this on top of that. Insane.
Yeah, I don't really like this plot point. And to have scrapped the previous villains for this, it feels wrong. Feels bad.
Johnny said that old man wouldn't be doing this at that point.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, I get a super soldier, all of that. But if you were going to turn him heel, don't give him that reconciliation at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, we are not in line here at all.
Yeah, but none of that means anything now.
It pisses me off to hear them talk about how everything has to stick to the comics and everything is, you don't really have any creative control. It literally feels like you guys are creating projects that are supposed to be connected, only you start over at each installment. It felt like in between WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness, we just started over.
Yeah.
It felt like in between Secret Invasion and the Marvels, we just started over.
Yep.
And in between Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Captain America 4, it will feel like we just started the whole clock over. Like nothing that we just watched on these TV shows even matters.
Back of the Bus's most anticipated movie for 2025 has had some casting additions. The Michael B. Jordan
movie. Don't disrespect me. Like
Michael B. Jordan Coogler movie.
Don't put my name on that.
They've added the actress who plays Hunter B-15 from Loki. They've added the big dude from 8 Mile. I don't know his name at the top of my head. Actually,
something Washington.
No, I think I have their name.
In like Terrence Washington or something like that.
Her name is Wunmi Mosaku. Mm-hmm. His name is Omar Benson Miller. Along with Jack O'Connell, Jamie Lawson, and obviously, like we said last week, Delroy Lindo. And I believe they have started filming in New Orleans.
Ain't no way. Really?
I believe the last information I got on this movie is that they've
already started filming it?
Yep.
Damn.
Oh, wait, here we are. Ryan Coogler's 1930s vampire thriller, according to Discussing Film, has begun filming.
Damn.
And I know they were filming in New Orleans.
That is fast. That movie's going to be made before Blade.
Oh, yeah.
That movie is going to be made before Blade.
It's going to come out before they start filming.
So is Delroy Lindo still in the Blade movie? I don't understand this.
I don't know.
This is literally going to be Minority Report in the paycheck. So the Marvel director, right, guy who's still under contract at Marvel, he's going to be the executive producer of Eyes of Wakanda. is making a movie that is not directly similar. It's not completely, one-to-one to Blade, but connected enough in theme that general fans, are going to have a hard time of deciphering. And not just that, they've reproduced most of the cast for the movie too. Delroy Lindo, Mia Goth. Like, what the fuck? So we're not even going to position this to come out at a different time either? Because both of these things are filming right now. Blade had to pause because they had to rewrite the script and shit. Mm-hmm. But roughly both of these movies are going to come out at the same time. And it's a Marvel director that's doing it?
Yeah, bro. Most anticipated film over here.
I think I expect too much in terms of efficiency and organization.
Oh, yeah.
I think I expect too much.
Yeah.
I think I expect too much to expect that if any higher up at Disney heard that Ryan Coogler was making a vampire movie at Warner Brothers that was set to release the same time as Blade, that also casted Delroy Lindo and Mia Goth, I think that would give me cause to pause. I think that would make me call Ryan Coogler back and be like, hey, no, you do Eyes of Wakanda to get his ass off that fucking movie.
Sure.
But maybe that's just me.
Or just act with a little bit more urgency around
Maybe
anything.
it's just me.
They're going to get this film out before y'all do, for sure.
No, absolutely they're going to get it out before.
So...
I don't understand. I am so confused. And then at the end of the day, I can't really root for it because I don't like the premise. I don't like the idea that we're putting an all-black cast together to be in a vampire movie, and we still got to center white supremacy at the heart of it. Yeah. Because I guarantee you, if it's Ryan Coogler helming it, them vampires going to lose to them KKK members. Oh, you better believe it. Them KKK members is going to round up all the humans, and they going to slaughter them fucking vampires. They going to slaughter them. Because they're black vampires fighting the KKK. And where we have never seen humans be able to dominate vampires, Ryan Coogler gonna tell you to hold your fucking beer. Because they black! Trying to tell y'all.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yikes. Okay. So there's been a lot of discourse on Twitter about X-Men 97 and how everything is working out over there. Which things are going pretty well. My question is, because of the hype around X-Men 97 now, and it being like one of the best things they've made in quite a while, what did Beau DeMaio do?
See, this is what makes me kind of cause for pause when everybody like, they didn't rehire her, Beau DeMaio. Fam, we still don't know what they fired him for.
What did he do?
The OnlyFans thing was a rumor.
Yeah.
That still hasn't been confirmed by either of the parties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if they felt like they were talking big shit about X-Men 97 for a while, if they knew that they had this hit on their hands and fired him anyway, my guess is that the OnlyFans thing was probably the tip of the iceberg, probably just one thing, along with some other shit. I have no clue what it may be.
We don't know.
I'm not going to speculate as to what it may be. I'm not going to say or mention anything.
But
what I am saying, though, is that if they axed his ass...
It was for something.
And I'm not saying he did it, but if they axed him altogether before the show even came out, they at least thought or were trying to avoid the appearance of what it is, whatever the fuck he was swept up into.
Sure.
And I'm just saying, for all of y'all calling for him to get rehired, still allegedly.
Pump your brakes.
We don't know what's going on.
Pump the brakes.
But we don't know what's going on. We have no clue.
Yeah.
We ain't got no clue.
Yeah.
Now, Disney doesn't have the best track record with hiring or firing black men.
Facts.
For that, I will give them, the requisite amount of scrutiny in this process.
Yeah.
However, Beau definitely didn't do a whole lot to get me to, jump on the bandwagon with this whole, Robert DaCosta shit and
Storm shit
and Bishop being MIA and all this other stuff. So, just in terms of protecting the black man from the white company, it just, it's a little less urgency.
William Moloch said he did a quiet on the set or something.
Like, I don't think, okay, so they do have those morality clauses in there, but would simply just having an OnlyFans account disqualify you from that? I don't know. It would depend on his contract.
Yeah.
Right? And then, again, that is just based off of what we know, what we think we know.
Mm-hmm. Of rumors.
I want to know what the hell he was fired for, or what they're
too.
saying they fired him for.
Because he wrote a good season so far.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
A decent season. I mean, like you said, besides the storm and some of the Robert DeCosta stuff.
What up, leader?
Everything else. Shout out, leader. So there was a movie that came out 3 weeks ago. That movie is already out of theaters. Marcus's favorite movie. That only did 2.4
the
million.
magic niggas. The magic niggas.
2.4 milli with an M
Yeah,
in the box office.
That's bad.
And it's already being yanked out of the box office.
That's terrible.
Already being yanked out of the theaters.
Terrible. It's almost as if black people didn't want to see a movie dealing with fantasy that still had black people subservient to white supremacy.
Shocker.
Go figure.
Crazy.
And what's Hollywood's next craze in the terms of black films? A vampire movie where they gotta fight the KKK. That's sure to do great. It's sure to do great.
No, but to be fair, we could go see an alternate. We can go see a Captain America where Isaiah Bradley is shooting shit up.
Where a poor black veteran has come to his wit's end and turns assassin.
We've got options.
Jesus, anti-blackness just pour all over these people.
Yikes. Okay, since we're on the anti-blackness train, formerly famed actor, at least in black communities, Billy D. Williams has decided to open his mouth and say that actors should be able to wear blackface.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck not?
Somebody get that grandpa. Where is Billy D. Williams' grandkids at? Where are they at?
I don't know.
Why are y'all allowing this man to go on Bill Maher and say that horse shit? Jesus Christ.
Let's talk about the Heroes sequel series. A series
I'm actually excited about
series
this.
that we haven't seen in quite some time.
In a minute. I haven't heard the name Heroes in a while.
Save the Cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yep. So apparently they're going to time jump from the previous series because
Of course. They got to.
obviously. But yeah, I'll be interested to see because the last cast was really good. So
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they do with this.
I want to see who they're bringing back. We're going to bring back Young Sly. We're going to bring back Hayden Panettiere. We're going to bring
sure.
back
Wait, what's Hayden Panettiere been doing lately?
making Scream movies.
Is that what she's been doing?
That's about it. The only thing I've seen her in.
Okay, so she can be in the show. Mm-hmm. Warner Brothers is apparently developing the Yasuke film. That may be the one that Chadwick Boseman may have been
I'm
working on.
hype about this film. I'm very hype about this film, and I hope they offer it to Lakeith Stanfield, the voice of Yakase on Netflix. Get that joint. Yeah, definitely. I think this was the role. They kind of vaguely described the role in the aftermath of his death. I think it probably got shelved until they brought it back out, but it was
Likely.
about a black samurai. But yeah, man, my choice right now would be for Lakeith Stanfield. That's my choice for Yakase.
I would like to see that. Him as a black samurai.
Yasuke.
I can see that. William Moloch said 2 out of 10 for the movie.
Oh, oof, yikes.
Terrible. Leader says, can you gentlemen also talk about the BS trolling Hollywood is doing with the new Romeo and Juliet casting with old-ass Tom Holland? So apparently Juliet's supposed to be a black girl.
Yeah.
A
So
young black girl at that.
this was complicated for me because while I don't mess with the race bends, right? Race bending is usually, or it is, we're only talking about that when we're talking about canonical material, right? Stuff that has a very long history or timeline, right? Sticking to that and sticking to what's true to that, it's just what created the fandom in the first place. It's what the fandom expects when you perpetuate the property. And when you kind of break from that, you start taking bits and pieces away from what makes the character. When we start talking about literary characters, though, such as Romeo and Juliet, I don't know that, like, I can be on the side of telling an actor, like, you can never play Juliet if you're not white. Like, I don't feel right saying that.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable saying you could never play Jean Grey. I feel comfortable saying you could never play Emma Frost. Because once you start changing that about them, you start changing things about their characters that's particular to them. I could say you could never be Wanda Maximoff, right? Because once you make Wanda Maximoff black, you change things about her character. What do you change about Juliet by making her a black Camulet?
I was gonna say, it kind of actually makes sense considering their two families didn't want them together.
It is a
Forbidden
complete
love.
modernization of the story, right? But and not to say that Shakespeare was talking about racial issues and the whole
not.
dynamic.
Of course not.
That wasn't even a thing. White people hadn't created race yet. But Ulysses. We all were in high school. We had those standard Greek mythology readings before. You're telling me that as a black action hero, you would never want to play Ulysses? If we've all read that book, you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking this back to English class. But the saga that man has throughout his life is absolutely insane. Beowulf's a little bit, that's more of a Nordic type of legend.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad necessarily, I guess, if somebody wanted to play him. It's just there are certain characters that have been around for centuries, right? That haven't necessarily been tied to they don't necessarily have the cultural ties to today's society that they had centuries ago. Mm-hmm. So it's tricky. I don't want to see a white man play Othello, but then are you telling me a black man could never play Hamlet? Like ever?
Yeah, bro.
You know, like damn. I don't like the idea that there's roles only reserved that I can never touch. Mm-hmm. I guess I hate the idea of being pushed out of roles more than I like the idea of there being certain roles for certain people.
Sure. I think it's also that she is kind of young and Tom Holland is also kind of getting a little older, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it had more to do with the fact that she's black.
Oh, no, it had way more to do with that.
Let's just keep it honest.
But I'm just saying,
that's
I think
what it was.
I think that was also some of the argument, at least.
Oh, sure. I don't know, chat. What do y'all think about that? Should black actors be able to play literary characters that have only ever been played as white people? Never maybe specifically referenced either way, but like the general idea is that they are white people. Mm-hmm. So like we can even take this back to like Cinderella or Snow White or Snow White obviously is going to be white. Sleeping Beauty or Rapunzel. Like so now black people are precluded from fairy tales as well? You know what I'm saying? Like where do you draw the line in that? We can't be in the Three Little Pigs?
Well, one's a play.
You know what I'm saying?
One's like a Shakespearean play.
But where do you draw the line at that? They're both literature. They're both stories. Sure. And they're very, very old stories. Mm-hmm. One's not more of a fable than the other in that way. So where do you draw the line? I think it's easier to call it out when it's in things that have established identities. Comic book characters, their backgrounds mean something to them. So it's easier to call that out. Especially when the property's been reproduced over and over again and you have something to base it off of. I've never seen a picture of what Romeo and Juliet looked like when Shakespeare wrote them.
William Moloch said if their race was never a part of the story, I think it's okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like the family of it all, that tribalism was there, but there was no racial tension. Unless you're trying to tell me that that's what he was writing the whole time when he was talking about the Capulets and the
Capulets and the
Montagues.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think even adding the racial tension kind of makes
it
sense.
It fits. It does fit.
Yeah.
It absolutely fits. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm also not trying to serve up black actors to that fucking mob every time.
Yeah,
like that shit is weak. It's just lame.
Disney has argued that it has First Amendment rights to fire Gina Carano.
We're actually going to read this. We're going to read this article by Variety because I actually need to understand. I need to ascertain how they gave this response. Mm-hmm. Like, fam, California's an at-will state. We no longer wanted to employ Gina Carano. Goodbye.
Plus, how
or wherever they were. I'm sorry. Where were they filming at? Wherever they were filming at. What state they were filming in? Most states in the United States are at-will states, meaning that your employer can fire you for any reason that they deem fit. Period. Point blank. There's absolutely no reason to invoke the Bill of Rights when you're talking about firing this white woman. They're going to fuck around with this case, bro.
I just don't understand how you're using your First Amendment rights
to fire someone
to infringe on
someone else's First Amendment rights. That doesn't make sense
at all.
But let's listen to their argument, though. Let's bring up the... Disney argued Tuesday that they had a First Amendment right to fire Gina Carano, the actor who played Bounty Hunter in The Mandalorian, after she allegedly trivialized the Holocaust in an Instagram post. Carano sued in February, arguing the company unlawfully retaliated against her for expressing her personal political views, which were at odds with Disney's preferred ideology. Disney's lawyers filed a motion on Tuesday to throw out the lawsuit, arguing that it has a constitutional right not to associate its artistic expression with Carano's speech. By employing her? So what she says on her private social media page, her personal page, by allowing her to do that, that's associating it directly with your art. That's horseshit. That's horseshit. That is simply saying that all of your employees can't say anything. They cannot express their feelings outside of work, period.
And then at that point, you could probably stretch that out to encompass literally anything anybody does outside of your movies.
That is stupid.
Or your content.
The case touches on a hot button controversy over speech rights on social media. Elon Musk, the owner of X, formerly known as Twitter, it's still Twitter, announced last August that he would pay the legal bills of employees who had been fired from their post on the platform. He later agreed to fund Carano's lawsuit against Disney. Listen, man. I think this was the stupidest route to respond. I think this was the absolute dumbest way to respond.
Doesn't even completely make sense.
I'm sorry. You have a First Amendment right to do that? No. You are an employer in an at-will state. You have a state right to fire any employee for any reason. Now, I'm not saying that that's fair or right at all. Honestly, it's pretty horse shit.
Yeah.
It's anti-union, anti-worker. Mm-hmm. It's garbage. But that exists.
As a better argument than your
Then your First Amendment right to essentially censor someone else's First Amendment right. Mm-hmm. Like, you started this big fucking hamster wheel of who gets the First Amendment right first and complicated this issue 10 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to say is that we're a Christian company and we do not believe in any anti-Jewish sentiment. Period. Point blank. Gina Carano's fucked. Your lawsuit's probably getting thrown out. But no, let's complicate this shit more by arguing that a company has First Amendment rights to fire an employee for something that they say outside of work on their personal social media.
Fucking stupid.
This is the dumbest shit ever. This is the How is this happening? How is this happening? Y'all might as well settle with her after. But she wants her employment back, so they can't do that. She wants to be rehired.
Yeah.
Should have just paid her to go away if you was going to get in court and say this stupid shit.
Yeah. None of that shit makes sense. Because that's not how your First Amendment rights work.
We have a First Amendment right not to be associated with her views. Fam, her saying something outside the confines of work does not constitute being associated with your art.
Unless people think that she is her character.
They're making Gina Carano a sympathetic character, and it's really fucking with me.
Yikes.
It's doing me dirty. So apparently at CinemaCon, where a lot of this stuff was coming out, a lot of the movie information that we're getting here came out. When they talked about Thunderbolts, they showed Thunderbolts, the title card, and then up in the right-hand corner, there was an asterisk.
Okay.
They're saying that they won't be addressing that asterisk until after the release. So obviously that has something that plays heavily into the Thunderbolts. I'm thinking, you want me to give my honest opinion on probably what it is? I think a lot of people on that team are going to get wrecked. There's a lot of throwaway characters on here. There's a lot of characters that they didn't give a shit about for years, that they did nothing to keep our interest in, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to pay attention to them into a movie. The Thunderbolts are the Suicide Squad of Marvel. And so in that way, they're expendable. And so everybody outside of
Bucky?
Maybe Bucky and Yelena is completely expendable. Nobody cares about Ghost. Nobody cares about Red Guardian. Nobody cares. I don't even think they give a shit about John Walker. I think they probably all get wrecked on the Century, and then they have to reconstitute the team. Mm-hmm. And when they reconstitute the team, it'll probably be Dark Avengers at that point. They'll be Thunderbolts until they absolutely wreck the team by the end of the movie. Maybe Norman Osborn comes in, and now we got Dark Avengers. You know?
Nobody cares about Taskmaster.
No one gives a shit about Taskmaster.
Makes sense. We'll see. Did we already talk about Denzel and Gladiator?
No. Hell no.
Well, Denzel is going to be in Gladiator too.
Fuck yeah.
This is a pleasant surprise for Homeboy.
I have been so ready for Ridley Scott to tell me how this movie was even going to come about. Like, y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't understand. Like, I planned out my family names partially in that movie. My second son's name is going to be Aurelius. That's Marcus crazy. Aurelius, like the one true king.
That's crazy.
Our next pet's name will be Maximus.
Wait, your next pet?
Well, I'm just being realistic about Rocky, but...
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But it will be Maximus. You know what I'm saying? I love Gladiator. Love Gladiator. But I didn't understand how the number 2 was going to come. Like, without making it some, like, bullshit supernatural shit where he comes back to life or something like that. Or, a prequel. No. This is like 20 years after Maximus falls. Apparently, whoever the main antagonist is uses Maximus as inspiration. Mm-hmm. Give him the quote. Give him the quote.
No.
Give him the quote.
No.
Give him the quote.
No, because I'm upset that I just read another article.
Okay, well, don't read it.
Ice Spice will be making acting debut alongside Denzel in Spike Lee's High and Low.
Yeah, I think that's a misleading headline. I think she's probably in the movie. Headlining next to Denzel is insanity.
It just says she will make acting debut.
Alongside. Yeah, that's crazy. I would be surprised if they're in 2 scenes together in whatever
Ice
movie
Spice is Hollywood's next Jack Harlow.
I don't think she has a big role in the movie. I think it was just a point to get her name out there. Relax. Shout out to Spike Lee and Denzel.
That is disgusting.
It's not that big a deal. It's like Nicki Minaj in Barbershop 3. Not that big a deal.
Okay, Nicki Minaj next to Cedric the Entertainer versus Ice Spice next to Denzel.
Here's the quote. Rome must fall. I need only give it a push. That's my Denzel and Gladiator. Y'all want to hear it again? Rome must fall. I need only give it a push. Now,
Rome must fall. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay.
No. Listen, okay, all right, let's brainstorm about who this can be. My history buffs in the chat right now. Rome, a black antagonist in some way? Are we talking about Moors? Are we talking about Mansa Musa? Who are we talking about right now to take down the Roman Empire? What are we doing?
Rome must fall. Okay, all right. And if it doesn't, I'm putting cases on
all you bitches. I wonder who he's playing, man. Is he going to be Hannibal? Is he going to be Mansa Musa? Is he?
Mansa Musa would be crazy.
Crazy, right? And it seems like whoever antagonist he's playing has got his sights dead set on Rome. Damn, so is he even the antagonist, though? Is he really the antagonist? Because Rome is the evil empire right now. They are the quintessential evil empire.
Does anybody have any news on his actual role? Washington's character in Gladiator 2 is inspired by Maximus, setting up an exciting storyline for the sequel.
Denzel's character is inspired by Maximus. Oh, interesting.
Introduces Denzel Washington as a former slave seeking revenge.
I'm still intrigued. Don't like that he's a former slave. Didn't love that. But maybe that's just a little part of his story. Let's just see. Maximus was a slave for a little bit.
Live action rated R adaptation of... live action rated R film of Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin.
Yeah, I was really, really, really excited about this actually. My son loves Ninja Turtles. Leonardo is my favorite Ninja Turtle. An R-rated Leonardo Ronin movie.
Interesting.
Until I see who was executive producing, whose
Uh-oh.
movie this is. Does the name Walter Hamada sound familiar to anybody?
Yeah, he was with DC.
He was with DC. Spearheaded the whole Zack Snyder saga where his vision on Justice League got scrapped and we went with, creepy Whedon and his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then those movies bombed and then the Snyderverse got released and then everybody found out that Walter Hamada's a racist.
That's
And,
because
all that
he
Ray Fisher
said-
shit.
Yep. Okay, I remember.
There was a brief moment in there where he was testifying in the Amber Heard trial, trying to make it seem like she was barely involved with the process, which come to find out she actually was.
This is a sick guy. I was gonna say Negro, but he's not.
Anyways, yeah, he's involved with the project, so that gives me a little bit of trepidation. I had planned on probably not involving anything that Walter Hamada was attached to, but
Probably a good move.
I don't know, man. I like Ninja Turtles. We'll see how that goes. I know my son's probably going. Well, it's rated R, so he won't be able to see it anytime soon. Anyways,
Yeah.
maybe one for wait for it to come on streaming services, something like that.
Sure. Do you care anything about the Scary Movie reboot that's in the works?
Nope. Not unless the Waynes
You know what I
and
mean?
Anna Faris need to be involved, and if y'all don't got them, I'm not watching it.
I would agree.
Regina Hall as well.
Regina
Give me the
Hall.
Waynes, Regina Hall, Anna Faris, and if it doesn't involve them, then I don't want it.
I don't see why Anna Faris and Regina Hall. Well, you know what it probably was. They probably got tired of paying them ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah. Oh no, those pay scales was going up.
Yeah,
Like Anna
that's what it
Harris
was.
at her peak was probably pulling in
And she had grown by that point.
maybe
into-
10, 15 million for those movies.
Yeah.
And each time they kept making more, they just level up. She probably got paid a couple thousand to do Scary Movie 1.
And Regina Hall is definitely making bread out here. And then you involve the Wayans.
First of all, they should give them their shit back. First of all,
Facts. Well, they've got their own haunted house thing that they got going on.
no, they do, and I still fuck with it. I'm just saying that was an established IP,
Yes.
and the people who established it for you was not who's making it. Is it Paramount? Who's it? Or is it Miramax? Who does Scary Movie?
Dimension.
Dimension. Gotcha. Yeah, give them the shit
I think
back.
they're under Miramax. Yep.
So it was Miramax.
Yep.
Give them that shit back, bro. Give them that shit back. I don't even understand how that shit ended up with the studio and not the Waynes in the first place.
They probably did some Hollywood fuckery. Actually, I did see that the Weinstein Company took over Miramax
Oh, well. Things are coming into view now.
from 2005 until 2018, and that's somewhere in there is where the Scary
Things are
Movie stopped.
certainly coming into view now.
Yeah. Anyway, last thing I got here, child star, who I only know as a child star, but now he is a grown ass man, so it's kind of weird. Bobby J. Thompson said that Tracy Morgan effectively tried to shit on his whole career.
It's crazy.
Thoughts?
So Bobby J. Thompson talks about a time that, he was really getting into his groove on the show and, really kind of standing out and
Stealing the
making
show.
the most of his scenes. And Tracy Morgan yoked him up and pulled him aside, 7 years old, and basically told him, hey, whose name is on this show? Okay, stop showing me up, basically. Like, now, I have heard of stuff like this going on with adults. Especially when you're the old seasoned veteran and you got the young, beautiful looking, 20-something behind you on your heels. You kind of bully them, right? To assert your dominance and to not give up your spot. Children, I will never understand shit like this.
Yeah.
For kids, like, you supposed to be an OG. He's supposed to look up to you. You supposed to be creating somebody who sings your praises for years to come as his career grows.
Like the
right?
Bernie Mac show.
That's a 48 laws of power kind of thing. Why you think so many people still hold Wayne up even though he took off a fucking 8-year gap where he couldn't rap anymore?
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? It's because along the way, he politicked. He kept up with, same thing with LeBron, right? All these young boys now won't take LeBron's head off. You know why? Because he they OG. He's the one that created the Let's Be Friends club in the NBA.
Despite him slam dunking and then looking at John Moran.
But no
on the
one wants to
sideline.
kill him. No one wants to kill him.
That's facts.
He put Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in a box for 8 seasons straight. Them niggas wouldn't even compete. The last season that he dogged them, they threw their hands up and said, I give the fuck up. That's LeBron James. What am I supposed to do to that? The nigga goes on 2 rounds later and gets swept.
Who did he get dunked on so long
Jason
ago?
Tatum.
No, not in the NBA. It was like some.
Oh, that kid where he went and stole the tape?
tape,
Yeah, for sure.
That was the only case I remember.
It was hooping somewhere.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I don't know why I think it's John Wall because I know it's not John Wall.
No. It was. I
But I think it was that
anybody.
year. It was Jordan Crawford.
Jordan Crawford. That's who it was. Yep.
Crazy. Anyway, I think that's it. That's everything.
I think that was a good week, fellas.
That was. I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen.